All right. Good morning, Casey Fredericks.
Good morning.
Welcome to I'll Call My Guy. You're one of my guys. And as I always tell people, this was going to be called I Got a Guy, like I got a guy.
Yeah.
But it was trademarked. So I'll Call My Guy is a little different in that it's, like, hey, I need somebody to consult on this. I need an interior designer. I need an acting coach, whatever. And it's I'll Call My Guy. And sort of the theme is relationships, right? Building relationships, connecting with individuals. And one of the reasons I wanted to have you on is because you have such a unique background, and as an actor and a dancer, and you're connecting with people that people who you may not even meet, right? There's 3,000 people in an audience, and you're performing for them, and you're connecting with them. And how do you connect with somebody you can't talk to?
Yeah, it's a really unique experience.
Yeah. So obviously you and I know each other for a while. Let's talk a little bit about you, and then get into it. Did you grow up in the Midwest, if I remember?
Yeah, I was born in California.
Okay.
And then we moved to Colorado.
Were you an intact family?
Yeah.
Mother, father.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Two siblings.
Two siblings. Okay. And until what age did you live in California?
Couple years. I was like a toddler, and we moved to Colorado, and then back to California when I was in high school.
And what part of California?
We moved to Modesto, so the Central Valley.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're Californian, and then did you go to high school in California?
I did. I finished high school in California.
Okay.
And then had my my arts thing going on there.
So then you said you moved to Long Beach afterwards. Okay. So when you were when did you come out and start living as a gay person?
I came out at 19.
19?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you live in the closet before then?
I feel like I did, but it wasn't long. It was like maybe a year or two. It was very...
Okay.
Yeah, I had high school girlfriends.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
All right. So you're not like a platinum card.
No.
All right.
All
right.
I mean, doing musical theater, it was me and the other romantic lead of the show.
Yeah, right. Of course. That's hard to
connected,
resist no matter what your orientation is.
So, you're figuring your stuff out as a teenager,
Yeah.
and you're exploring, and I was very, sheltered as a child, just came from a very conservative family.
Oh, that's right. I think you mentioned that, like religiously conservative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would it be frowned upon by them, that kind of thing?
I mean, it was at the time. It definitely was hard for them to wrap their heads around.
And this is what, the late 80s, early 90s?
This was, I'm not that old.
I don't know how old you are. Not as old as me. I know.
I came out in 2005.
Okay, all right. So, but 2005 in California is probably the best place you can be, other than like Provincetown.
Yeah. I mean, California is super liberal, but my family was from a small town.
Wow.
So they were born and raised in Southern California, but in a different time.
Mm-hmm.
So they just had never had any encounters with any gay people. They didn't know. It was just so shocked by the idea of it because they just didn't have any experiences, So I purposely started doing things in advance of coming out. I introduced them to Rent. I brought it home. I was like, you guys have to watch this movie.
That's the gayest thing ever.
And then my
500.
Yeah. But then the scene where the guys kiss, and my mom was like, ew, my God, and I was like, I can't believe I'm experiencing this right now. I thought they'd immediately be like, oh, that's sweet, but they were not into it. So
let's jump back to something. So you were in theater early on. You were the theater kid, or whatever. What are you guys called? Drama kids or whatever. There's a name for the folks that are all theater kids in high school.
Yeah,
theater nerds.
Thespians.
Thespians, but theater nerds or something.
Yeah. I grew up as a dancer and a gymnast first. So I kind of started my training, and then started singing. I was in a band in junior high school, and then when I moved to California, I really got into choir and singing and that kind of thing, and then auditioned for the High School Musical and landed the lead. So it was that kind of sparked me.
And what was that show?
It's called The Boyfriend.
Oh, it was not
old school
thing. Yeah, okay. So not they didn't buy the license for Les Mis or something.
Yeah, no, it was
And that was that freshman year that you were the lead?
Junior year.
Junior year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I kind of realized I kind of got the bug for this, and started auditioning for local stuff, and did Damn Yankees, did Les Mis.
In high school.
In high school.
Yeah. Oh, what did you play in Les Mis?
I played Provert, which was one of the guys.
One of the guys in the ABC Cafe.
Yeah.
All right.
So I got the bug, and I kind of...
Is that the guy that says, "Some wine and say, what's going on"?
That wasn't me. You know what, we switched the lines
There's
around.
There's a Grand Terre or whatever.
Yeah, like they kind of just like...
I love that scene, by the way, the Ave Cafe.
It is fun, yeah.
Yeah. So did you do ensemble in that show as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, had a bunch of featured roles, and kind of just got bit by the theater bug.
The theater bug, but so I mean, did you start dropping? I mean, obviously you showed your parents Rent, but like, I know you came out at 19, but at 17, obviously you in your head, are having thoughts probably, and you're a teenage boy with raging hormones, and you're thinking in your head, like, are you leaving breadcrumbs for the family?
Not that early.
No,
I didn't even come.
Oh, you didn't even. It wasn't even.
It was like there were thoughts. There were like experimental things, but I was just like, I don't know like what any of this is. I haven't seen boys, I haven't seen girls, so like I know my.
But 19 something popped.
Yeah, it was. It was after I was 18 when I broke up with my second girlfriend at the time. She was older than me, and there was that whole thing, and I was in a modern dance company.
Okay.
And out of high school, and it was in college based, and met my first boyfriend there, who was in the company.
And was he sort of out and been living as a...
Yeah, he was 25.
Right,
he
so
was
you were like,
got his thing, and like...
He's like, come with me, young man.
Kind of, yeah. It was, we were at a party, and then, like, I had my first drink. And
then that was it.
Yeah,
he could see a member of the tribe, right? Yeah, he knew.
So
he's
like... I was like, what is this? What's going on? I don't know what this is about. I kind of like it, but it's weird. And so, like, it sort of, like, evolved from there. And then I kind of started spending more time at his place.
Right.
And my parents were like, why aren't you coming home? And I was like, oh, I'm, like, getting a roommate. And so I started being like, I introduced them to him. I was like, this is my friend Michael. And
then how did that go? Was there like, your sisters probably, you had two sisters, you said?
One sister, one brother. Yeah.
One sister, one brother. Because they're obviously younger and probably more open-minded. Were they just like, bro? Like,
they had no idea.
What?
No idea, yeah. They just were like, they're still kids,
Wow.
So my sister's 5 years younger than me. So
okay. She didn't get it yet.
Yeah. So eventually it was just, Michael and I moved to Long Beach. So we moved down, 6 hours south from my parents, and eventually I had the conversation with them, on the phone. Was like,
oh, and it was a phone call.
Yeah.
And it was your mom and dad?
Yeah.
And
individually.
Mm-hmm. And how did that go?
So it went opposite of what I thought it was going to be. My dad was a policeman for like 20 years. Oh. So I was like kind of scared.
And what did he say?
Like, and I thought my mom was going to be like this loving, like, oh, I love you so much, and it's okay. And she kind of freaked out and was just like, not in an angry way, but was just like, what did I do wrong?
Oh,
like, how am I responsible for this? Did I coddle you too much? Did I buy you too many? You're so sensitive. Did I give you too many like girly things? Like,
it's the opposite of me. Like, I said to I was praying one of my kids is gay. I want a gay kid, like bring me a gay kid.
Right.
But yeah, wow. So she was, that's kind of insensitive.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean,
is she cool now?
She's amazing.
Oh, all right, fine. All right, so she came
great.
around. So she's forgiven.
She's forgiven. And my dad, I was scared to death of my dad.
Yeah.
And I thought for sure that he was gonna,
And he took it better.
Me down. He did. He was like, well, I don't really get it. I don't really understand it, but you're my son, and I love you no matter what. And I was like, whoa.
And I know that from my gay friends, that is even I don't say more important, but it holds a much more as a man, and having your father accept that, it's like a big deal.
It was.
Am I right?
It was. Yeah. It was. And so it kind of gave me more strength to continue talking to my mom about it.
Right.
So I was like, my dad's my
if I get my dad, I can certainly get my mom.
I mean, honestly, first I came out to my grandma.
Okay.
She was the first person.
And how was she?
To. She was great.
She was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, she was just like, I've always known.
Oh, right. The grandma knows, right?
She's like, you didn't have to tell me, but like, it's okay. I love you.
Oh, that's so nice.
We've always had the most amazing like magnetic relationship. So she was immediately like, it's fine. And she kind of...
Is that your mother's mother?
My dad's mom.
Dad's mom.
Yeah. And so she started reading books about like someone I know is gay and all these things. And so she
gay
sort
for
of...
dummies.
Yeah. So she sort of like kind of was in my parents' ear a little bit, being like, I'm reading this. This is kind of how you should approach this.
They really did have a clue.
Not a clue.
Wow.
Just completely. They thought I was just artistic and a different child, which I was. You know?
You were, but wow. So then mom came around. So when you moved with Michael to Long Beach, 19?
Yeah, 1920.
What are you doing?
I was going to school. I was going to school for my degree in nutrition and dietetics.
Okay.
I was working at Starbucks
in
the morning, going to school in the afternoon, and then late morning, afternoon, and then I was teaching dance class at night.
And you were at like a local college in Long Beach?
Yeah. It was a community college in Orange Coast College in Costa Mesa.
Okay. So you got a bunch of stuff going, and what is Michael doing?
He was working at a restaurant and going to school as well. So he was wanting to do more like dance education.
Okay.
So
and you guys are living together in a committed relationship.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And he's 25.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then what happens? What's next for you?
So I had actually knee surgery at 19.
And that's right. You've always had a knee thing, right?
Yeah, I've now had both of them worked on. So it's like, it is what it is. But they're good now. But they just click and pop.
Well, yeah, it doesn't get better. No,
it sure doesn't. So I started getting antsy like from after my surgery. I'm like laying there being like, what am I doing? Like I can't work. I can't, like I've laid up. And so I got a call. I was recommended to a theater company in Colorado that my friend had choreographed for, and they were looking for a choreographer for their summer program. And they called, and he referred me. They called and asked if I was interested, and I was like, yeah, I need to do something. Like I need to get back rehabilitated. I need to like be active again. I want to get more into theater. And so I took the interview. They gave me the job, and Michael did not take that well. He was just like, well,
that's it.
Yeah, if you're gonna go, it's like 3 months. It's like a summer gig, Right. And he's like, if you're gonna go, I don't know where you're gonna be when you come back. I was like, well, if that's how you're gonna be, like, I'm chasing my dreams, so
bye,
peace. So we parted ways. We reconnected later on, and now we're very, very good friends.
I was gonna ask, where's Michael?
He's got an incredible dance company called Nickerson Rossi Dance, and they're in Palm Springs.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And it's a beautiful facility. I mean, he's built an amazing career for himself. So he's the artistic director of the company, and has huge, amazing.
And he's in a relationship.
He's in a relationship.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, they've been together for I think a decade. And
that's awesome.
They're doing great.
And he lives in Palm Springs. Uncle lives in Palm Springs. It's like the best place on earth.
Yeah. And he's invited me to come out and set work on the company or to dance with the company.
That's so nice.
It hasn't worked out, but like we're great. So
that is good, right? Yeah. Usually you hear usually the lesbians keep in touch.
Yeah.
Right? The gay guys not so much, but like that's good to hear, right? So you go to Colorado, and what are you in a show in Colorado?
I choreographed this like summer stock theater company. So it's like 3 shows in rotation. And
you're 20?
He's 20. Yeah, about 20.
21?
Yeah.
Okay. And, so were you living in Colorado?
I was living with my grandma, who was still there.
But what town? I mean, outside of what city?
A little town called Trinidad. Nobody knows where.
But where is it? What's the?
It's like south of Colorado Springs.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, living there with my grandma for the summer, saving money.
So she must have loved that, right?
Yeah, no, it was great. It was nice to spend the time together.
And you did that, and then that ends.
Yeah, that ends. I moved back to Long Beach, and was kind of floating a little bit. I was staying with a friend of mine. I started auditioning in LA, and got a dance company in Salt Lake City. So I booked
I'm going there Monday.
Yeah,
I'm going to Salt Lake City.
Nice.
And so did you live in Salt Lake?
I did for a year.
Oh, I'm going to be staying in Park City. But
amazing.
Going into, is it nice?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Good restaurants, right?
Incredible. Yeah.
All right. So we're staying there, but we have a conference in Salt Lake. I'm going Monday through Thursday. And I've been to Salt Lake and I loved it. It's a cool town, and I was in Sugar House the last time, which is like area. All those bungalows and stuff. It was great. So you live in Salt Lake. How are the Mormons with you?
It was the strangest experience because I was single, young, gay, in Salt Lake City.
But there's a lot of married straight.
There's a lot of married straight men
that
are closeted.
Yes.
But the gays are also screwed up because, like...
In Salt Lake?
Yeah. It's because they're all... This is the Mormon oppression of everything. So they're all like former Mormons and with Mormon families and trying to figure out their sexuality. And it's like, it was very weird.
Oh, like so the guys you meet or the former Mormons are like, it's just not a good vibe.
It's just hard to, it was very hard to date. Like it was like,
wow.
So there was all these red flags. I mean, like you have so many psychological things going on.
Right, you haven't dealt with all this
you
trauma.
gotta figure yourself out, before you can like enter into a relationship. And like, we're kids anyway, but like.
But still, like, it was enough baggage there.
Yeah, nothing was working, So nothing clicked. I didn't meet anybody great there. Lots of friends. I've stayed friends with people.
Yeah.
But
it's a beautiful, beautiful city. What and then you go and what show is there? Is it a show or it's a dance company?
A dance company.
And you're a choreographer for them?
No, I was an ensemble member.
Oh, an ensemble member.
Yeah, so
okay.
I did like 3 or 4 shows with them through the year.
And then, what kind of shows are they doing? Like
dance shows, like
okay.
Full dance concert dance. Okay. One was a full Beatles show.
So
it was
I love that.
All Beatles music.
I'm a Beatles guy.
It was cool. One was like a Halloween.
What's your favorite Beatles song?
All You Need Is Love.
All You Need Is Love. Yeah. I just went out to with my son. We were in Liverpool to see a game, and we went to the Beatles Museum.
Amazing.
And it's amazing, right? Because they're from there, and it's fantastic. So. All right, so you do those shows, and then do you leave Salt Lake?
So when I was in Salt Lake, I randomly, one of the choreographers who worked for the dance company that I was with was the choreographer for the High School Musical series.
The one on TV?
The films.
Oh, the films, yeah.
And so, the little known fact is that High School Musical is set in Arizona, but there's all the Red Rock in southern Utah.
Oh.
And it's more affordable to film in southern Utah. And there's more like filming rights and like grants and stuff. So they filmed all of High School Musical, like Arizona scenes in southern Utah. And so they used a lot of the dancers from the dance company that I was in, or auditioned them. Some from LA and then a lot from Utah. So I auditioned for the 3rd High School Musical film when I was living in Salt Lake and got to film that movie.
Wait, so you were in the High School Musical as what was your role?
A dancer, just like in like a bunch of different scenes.
So if we pull that, we can see you?
Oh yeah, I'm popping out all over the place in the hallway. I got to, chat with the stars a little bit. And,
that's cool. So that's a real like Hollywood style movie, right? Yeah.
It was the first
with craft services and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was
and
amazing.
do they treat ensemble members good on those?
Fine. I mean, it's not you're not the stars,
right?
Like but it was comfortable.
You're not an extra, but you're more than that.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just kind of dancers, and
and how long is that film for?
A couple months.
Yeah.
A couple months. Yeah.
You do that, and you're living. You have an apartment in Salt Lake.
Yeah. I was living with another dancer in the company, so we had an apartment together.
Okay.
For the year that I was.
And
there.
so, do you at some point wrap up in Salt Lake?
Yep. So I finished my season there, finished filming. And was like, I'm ready to move back to LA. And moved back to LA, auditioned.
When you say LA, you mean Long Beach?
Yeah, Long Beach, but I was auditioning in LA.
I see, right.
So Long Beach is great, amazing place to live. And, this great little beach town. And it's got all this great culture, but it doesn't have the audition scene. It's got great dance and stuff, but it's not really attached to the LA dancer scene, the music scene, the theater scene, which is small there anyway. But so I was commuting to LA to audition for stuff, and ended up auditioning for Moving Out. It was for the tour,
national tour.
Yeah, and then they were auditioning for Cats in the next room over.
God, I always talk to you about this.
And they pulled me and said, "Hey, we want you to audition for the Cats over here." I'm like, "Okay." I auditioned.
Did you know how bad Cats was?
No, I had no idea. I'd never seen it. Never knew anything about it.
It's awful.
And I was auditioning for Moving Out because it was a dance musical. It's like all like Billy Joel music.
Yeah,
like, it is amazing.
Yeah,
it's like
it's
a ballet.
Upbeat, it's fun.
It's
yeah,
like all this amazing athletic choreography. And so I was like, this is my comfort zone. I'm like, I know my dance skills. At that point in time, that was like the crossover where they were still hiring like a dance ensemble and a singer ensemble for Broadway. And that at that point in time is when it started to mix. And now it's like everyone does everything.
Ensemble is everything.
They no longer separate. Yeah, they used to be a dancer ensemble and a singer ensemble.
Interesting.
Now, to save money, producers started being like, let's find the talent that can do both. So they cut costs and find great talent.
So you go into you get picked for Cats.
I auditioned for Cats and was there. Ended up being there all day. Kept getting callback after callback after callback. they asked me to sing. I had one piece of sheet music in the trunk of my.
Oh, so what? You're just sitting and there's a bunch of people sitting at a table.
Yeah.
It's awful.
I had dance. I had done all the dance.
No, but
stuff.
it's awful, isn't it?
And then
I heard that whole scene is like awful.
It is very intimidating. And especially, I mean, now it's fine for me, but at that time I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like
So you sing a little sheet music?
Yeah, I sing my little sheet music song. It was like not right for the show at all. I didn't know what I was doing, but it was enough.
But they could see you knew what you're doing.
Sing. Yeah, they knew that I had a voice and I could sing, and I ended up getting cast as the swing in the show.
Okay.
So I immediately, like a month later, I think they were like, rehearsals are in New York, so we're gonna fly you to New York, and you're gonna need to find housing there
for a little while.
Yeah, for like a month or so, 6 weeks maybe, and then the tour will launch. So I moved to the San Francisco Bay Area to stay with a friend of mine. I was like, this is a great opportunity for us to like reconnect and like in limbo transition between being in Long Beach, not having work, and then knowing I have this gig coming up. It's going to be like a year-long tour. So I went and stayed with him, and that was great because it was closer to my family, so I got to see them too. And then I moved to New York.
So you did a few weeks in San Francisco?
Yeah, it was like 3-4 weeks in limbo before my rehearsal started.
Right, and you go to New York, and how do you find housing in New York?
I think I found, at that point in time, I found an apartment on Craigslist.
Oh, right.
That was like all that there was, you know? So it was like a 4-bedroom house in Queens.
Oh.
And 4-bedroom, 2-bath. It was a nice, great apartment. It was
and you were sharing it with some other folks?
I had a bedroom, rented a bedroom.
Okay.
Yeah, people I never met, but like...
And they were cool?
They were great, yeah. Like all of them were kind of in the industry.
Oh, all right.
All kind of actors, musicians, something. And so... I became friends with like the guy who kind of made the posting, and so we kind of hung out a little bit. It was great. It worked out well. Like they were all great. They're all nice, and we kind of just came and went as we needed.
Was that your first time in New York?
It wasn't my first time. It wasn't my first time visiting New York, but it was first time living in New York.
Of course, right? Yeah,
I visited a couple times, but like living there first time.
Well, I mean, and it's a different. Long Beach and New York couldn't be more opposite.
Right.
You don't take a car in New York. You're on the subway.
Yeah,
it's gritty.
Yeah. In fact, I left my car. I left my car at my friend's place in California and at his apartment complex. And we laugh about this story all the time because I was like, I'm just going to leave it here. Like, I'll be back in a year. Like, do you mind every now and again? Just starting it. Yeah, start it, move it, take it, do it, drive it around. I don't care. Like, whatever. And he emails me like a couple weeks after, maybe 2 weeks, two, 3 weeks later, emails me, subject line, your car, the body is gone. They got towed. My car got towed, and I never saw it again. Maybe it was like a cheap.
Oh, it was a beater.
Yeah, it was a beater. It was nothing special.
But you're just like, all right.
I was like,
it's actually easier.
What am I gonna do? Like, I'm not flying back to California to like
just let it go.
Find my $2,000 car. Like, it's gone. So whatever. So I'm living in New York. I'm not going to need a car anyway, so
your car is gone. Are you still friends with that guy?
Oh, yeah.
Your car is... Does he still text you like your car is gone?
It's gone, yeah. We'll crack up.
You guys have to have like T-shirts made or something like your car is gone.
It's an amazing inside joke and it's lasted forever.
That is funny.
Yeah.
So now the tour launches and then you're how old now?
I was 21.
21, right. And tour life is you're going from city to city, 7 to 21 days, depending on the city.
So this tour was a non-equity tour.
What does that mean?
It means it's not part of the union, the actors union. So the rules that the producers have to follow for a non-equity tour are very...
They can just do whatever they want.
They do whatever they want.
And it's always to save money.
Always to save money.
Right.
It's a money-making game.
Right. And they want to pay you the least amount, give you the least amount so they can extract the maximum amount.
Exactly. So we had to... We had
no protections.
They put us up in a hotel room, but we had to share a room.
Oh.
So we had to like have a roommate for the tour. We had to... it was a bus and truck tour.
Oh,
so
God.
we just... Every city we went to was on a bus. I think we flew maybe once or twice, but like we were on a bus and the longest we sat down was a week. A lot of times it was one-nighters or split weeks, like 2-3 days in a city, and then get up at 6 a.m., 5 a.m.
Is Cats heavy with? It must not be heavy with the stage stuff, right?
They had
for a 3-day. It
they
makes
had
sense.
An inflatable set.
Oh,
so it was like the background blew up, and then they had all these like hard pieces that went in front of it. So like it was painted and actually looked pretty good. But it was like, you hear the fans going the whole time in the back. They had a deck, so they had their there's deck that they put down over the stage, and then they built the set around. So yeah, it could be set up in a day. Like it was.
Okay, so it's not like, and they're charging huge amounts for the tickets.
Oh my god, yeah, and it was like they're charging the same prices as an equity tour or Broadway show, but like
they're just keeping all the money.
They're keeping all the money. I think it was like salary was like $425, and I think it was like $175 per diem a week or something. So it was like the bare minimum, you know. So we're all young and hungry.
Right.
And,
so you're like, I'm in Cats. I'll do it.
And there were very few people who kind of re-signed their contracts. There were a couple people who did it for 2-3 years, just kept touring with the show. But most of the people bounced after a year. They're like, this is
too much.
This is too much. Like, this is crazy.
And what, and how many cities do you think you went to with Cats?
God. I mean, in a year, probably 50, easy.
Wow.
Like,
what are some of your favorite cities?
It's hard to remember that time.
Right.
Because it was, a lot of them were like arenas, and I mean, we even did like an ice rink. Like, they put the deck down on the ice rink, and like, it was terrible. Like, the rules do not apply to this non-equity tour, so it's crazy what they get away with.
They're just being, they're whores,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. I think like one of my favorite memories from then was we were in like Missoula, Montana, and there was I had family there, like extended family, and I hadn't seen them in years, and so they came and saw the show, and they had never seen me do anything before, so that was kind of cool to like
Montana. I've never been to Montana.
Beautiful.
Have you been to every state?
I think I've been to every state. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've been to like 42.
Yeah.
But
Alaska, I have not been.
Not Alaska. So. All right, so 49.
Yeah.
But Montana, I hear, is fantastic.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful. I mean, it's definitely redneck, like majority of it, but like it's the countryside's gorgeous. The mountains are amazing. And we found this like mermaid bar. It was like tiki loungy, and like there was like a big huge tank where there was like a girl swimming in a mermaid tail, you know, like
that's awesome.
It was
in
like
Montana.
In Missoula, Montana.
You're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was crazy. So that was like a core memory of like
you guys would go hang out there.
Yeah, we'd like hang out there for. And
did you guys make friends with the mermaid? Of course.
I don't even remember. Like it was like I think we just like waved through the glass or whatever. But that was like one of the great spots on that tour. Few other memories from that tour because it was just like so fast and like sleeping on the bus all day and your body's just like shaking and then get to a city and like stretch and do the show, you know. It was like horrible.
So how long do you do that for?
Just a year. I did 1 year contract and I was out.
And you're out.
Mm-hmm.
And go back to Long Beach?
I went back to New York. So I was like I wanted to be in New York. I wanted to like set that Broadway dream.
But now you have a year of a national tour, so it probably opens up more things to you.
Yeah, like I was definitely I had an agent in LA that I transferred with to New York. Ended up dropping them and getting another agent in New York.
Okay.
And they were a little bit better about getting me auditions and appointments for things. And so all along I had auditioned for Wicked when I lived in LA the first time. And I had actually been flying to Chicago, on my way to Chicago, stopped in Denver, got a call from an agent being like, you know, you got an appointment for Wicked. And I immediately like changed my flight and flew back for this appointment.
Back to LA.
Back to LA. So to attend this audition. I was like, oh my God, this is my dream show. Like I saw the show when I was 17.
You loved it.
Was like, I see myself in the show. Like I have to be in the show someday. Like this was my absolute dream. So I saw it when I was at the Pantages in LA. For the first time,
which is a legendary theater.
Yeah,
folks that are listening,
incredible. Yeah, like just
that's where
every star-studded.
You want to be at Wicked and Pantages. I mean, that's it.
It was that's where I saw it, and I was like in the nosebleeds. You know, I was like, this is it. So when I got that call, I was like, I got to do this. Like, I whatever it costs, I'm flying home. So I fly back, and this is back in the day of MapQuest. So there's no Google Maps. There's no digital anything, right? Like I'm like on the computer typing up, being like, how do I get to this address for the?
Where is it? The Valley somewhere?
It was like in Hollywood at a church. Like they had like rented this big hall of a church, and that's where the auditions were. They always were because it was like so many people auditioning. Right. So that's the difference between LA and New York. Is like LA's got like LA has dance studios too, but they're much smaller. So New York's got bigger dance studios that can house those auditions. But yeah, MapQuest directions didn't do me well. And
you missed it.
I got there.
Oh God,
late.
And you must have been high anxiety.
I mean, I was driving around looking for this place. I was panicking, and I finally find it. park my car, run in. I'm like, please take my headshot resume. And they're like, okay, but like it's already started, you know, so they throw my headshot resume in the pile. One of my friends there from a dance company that I had done.
And is he working there or is he auditioning?
She was auditioning as well. And we had danced together in a contemporary jazz company in Long Beach I forgot that I did them too. So that was before I went to Salt Lake City. I danced for this company in Long Beach. So I saw her there. She sort of started teaching me the combination, but it was so fast. It was like, they're like, okay, you know, group 2, here we go. Group 3, here we go. So I bombed it. I completely got cut. Like, it just ripped me apart.
Well, plus you were also, like, anxious. You're sweating probably. You're nervous because you couldn't find the place. You didn't have time to go do any breathing exercises.
Nothing. Couldn't stretch, couldn't warm up, couldn't get in the zone, nothing. You know, so I totally was just...
And did you tell your agent, I got lost?
Yeah, and they're like, oh, well, maybe next time.
Maybe next time, right.
So, come to find out, like, the show auditions, like... regularly, you know, every 6 months or so, they have to hold an audition by equity rules.
That's an equity show.
Yeah. So they've got to, you know, currently running on Broadway. So if they're going to have the tour, it's got to be the same similar contract. I was like, well, you know, that's that. Ended up moving to New York, doing that whole thing. Auditioned for Wicked, went back in, auditioned for Wicked.
Back to LA?
Back in New York.
Oh, so they're doing it now. They do it in New York.
Yeah. They audition in LA and New York.
What's the vibe difference between a New York audition and an LA audition? Is it very different?
Very different.
Really?
Yeah, very, very different. The LA dance scene is very, you know, for lack of a better word, like urban. Like it's just very like, New York is very buttoned up and LA is very relaxed.
Wow.
And so it's very like hip hop based and that jazz funk style in LA. There's not a lot of contemporary dance. There's not a lot of theater in LA. There is some, but it's like hard to come by, and it's hard to work in LA as an actor, as a theater actor. So it's all about the music industry in LA, and you know the music videos, the star shows, the arena tours, that whole kind of thing. And so New York auditions run in a much more, for lack of a better term, like theatric way, you know. Like
really?
It's just like it's structured in a different way, where you come in and you're taught the dance combination first, and then they make a cut, and then you do it again, and then they keep the people.
And it's ruthless, right? You can just get cut and you walk out with your head between your tail between your legs, right?
You get told
or whatever the expression. You just put your head down and walk out, right?
You just
like, sorry.
Yeah,
we're going in a different direction. Did they at least give you that?
Sometimes not. I mean, even when you get like you make it to the final cut and you've danced the combination, you've made it to the callback, you come back the next day, you do it again, you do partner work, you do lifts, you stay and sing, you read the script and say some lines, like they kind of audition you all over the place, and then you either hear from them or you don't. Like you wait for that call, and it just either comes like in a day or two, a week, or it just doesn't. Like they don't have time to call every person and say sorry you didn't get it. Right. You just never hear. So it's a very ruthless business.
They ghost you basically.
Yeah, they just ghost you, and you're just like you just keep auditioning and keep hoping that something eventually.
So lands. Set the scene. Where is this audition? Because this is such like a critical, I think, part of your life.
In New York.
Yeah.
This was Pearl Studios in New York City, like 34th and 8th, I think.
Okay, so right near Penn Station.
Yeah. And I went and auditioned. Had a great audition. They kept me all day. I was the one non-equity that didn't have. You
didn't have a SAG
equity card. Yeah,
is that SAG, right?
SAG is
for TV, movies, right?
TV film, and then equity is the theater. So I did not have an equity card. But you can go to these equity auditions. They'll see the equity actors first, and then they'll see if they have time. They'll see whatever non-equity actors. So you have to kind of be on the wait list on the side. If they get up through all the groups and they have time, they'll see.
Can't somebody just like in the industry like that's make you an equity? No, it's a whole thing.
Oh yeah, you gotta like get registered. You gotta pay your dues.
Oh, it's a whole thing.
You gotta. Yeah.
No, but I mean like, but you could like with somebody like you, they can make the intro for you, right? If you want, is it?
You have to. The way it works is that you have to either earn weeks working as a non-equity actor, and every contract that you get, it's like an equity contract, but you're contracted as a non-equity performer, and you earn these points, and you have to get so many points, and then you can cash in for your equity card, or you get an equity contract. So you have to like get the contract, and the theater has to offer you your card.
I see.
So
and it's prestigious, right?
It is. It comes with a lot of prestige to have that, to be able to get in front of the
and it also means you have a certain level of core competence.
Yeah.
So for next auditions, people are like, "Oh, this guy knows what he's got to know what he's doing."
It's kind of a little bit more of that like automatic expectation, you know.
Right, you're licensed.
Yeah, you're licensed, and as a non-equity performer, you're kind of looked down upon, like you haven't made it yet, you know. So like you're green, you're young, you're learning, but they don't take you as seriously because you just don't have the experience under your belt. So it is really hard to get those first big contracts. So a lot of actors get them from regional gigs around the country. Like
I see.
They finally land that. They're like, so it's not that non-equity performers are not talented. The talent is there. It's just the experiences.
Right. You got to pay your dues.
Mm-hmm.
So they keep you the whole day. And in your mind, as you're staying hour after hour, you're thinking, this is shit. This is going great.
Yeah. I was like,
now, do they give you feedback? Like, do you know that it's going well, or is everyone poker faced?
Completely poker faced.
Oh, fuck.
No idea.
That's
no
awful,
idea.
Casey.
You just do your thing. You just keep.
And nobody like maybe another guy that like maybe finds you cute or something that says like, bro, you're doing great. Like, you don't get any one of those. Nothing. They keep character.
They write, scribble all over your resume.
You have no idea what they're writing.
They put them all out on the floor. They're watching as you're
this is fucking awful.
And they're making notes on your resume about each person as you're doing it in a group. Then they make you switch lines, and then like they're like, okay, next group of 5, and then you're kind of waiting on the side, letting everyone go.
And these are like Broadway royalty, right? Right.
Everybody
these are like, you know, this guy produced this show for 20 years.
Yep.
But you don't have like Sondheim there or any of those guys. It's not that level.
It's not that level. Yeah, it's more of the creative team.
The creative team,
the choreographer,
right?
The casting director, the dance
Cameron
captain.
McIntosh isn't there.
No, it's like it's the creative team.
Right, okay,
like,
but still,
they're the ones who launched the show.
These are Broadway like top dudes,
absolutely,
like that know the show, and you know Tony. These are Tony voters.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, these are people who've been in the industry a long time,
right? And they know, and they can size talent up very quickly.
Yeah.
So you're doing all day. So how long? Like, is it 8 hours you're there? 10 hours?
I feel like I was there like 10 to 5 or 6.
Wow.
Yeah, it was all day event, like that first day.
So what happens at 5 or 6?
Like, I get a call after.
So you leave and then you get nothing.
Nothing.
Oh,
I left. My agent calls me.
This is fucked up.
My agent calls me like 30 minutes, an hour later, and was like, "Hey, they want to see you again tomorrow for another callback." And I was like, "Okay."
But they didn't give enough in 7 hours.
You're right. Then there's a little bit of feedback. And so occasionally you get a little bit of breadcrumbs being like, they want this or they want to see more of this.
They felt that you need to focus more on...
Bring this, like, or sing something else or bring another... Well, this time it was like, can you be more edgy? I'm like, I am the most white bread, like...
Edgy?
Yeah, I was like, what do you mean be edgy? Like, I don't know what that means. Like,
of course they can't tell you, they have to tell your agent because they're cowards.
Yeah, well, it's like it's like they're not going to tell me directly to my face.
Awful. So I couldn't handle this.
So I was like, what do I do? I'm like, okay. So I go to H&M and I'm like, let me find like something that's like, I don't know, quote unquote edgy that I can wear.
What did you get? I'm curious what you got.
I got like these like checkerboard shorts that were like long, like past my knees.
You wearing long shorts?
Yeah, and it was like.
I would have gone with the 5-inch inseams, like, you know, the nut huggers.
I was like, there's like these long, like kind of like baggy, black and white like plaid shorts, and I think I had like a black tank top and like
you put like a fake tattoo on.
It was like but I did put eyeliner on. I was like,
all right,
just like make myself a little smoky eye.
Yeah.
And then I had like a pullover, like a button up, like a short sleeve button up.
That's amazing.
So I was like trying to be like, you know,
you're like West Side Story.
So cool.
Yeah. Like, I got a switchblade.
So out of my league.
Right.
Like,
that's totally not you.
Not me at all.
Oh my god.
It was not me at all. So I was like, let me go back and be edgy for
the
company. So the next day I go in and I did great. Like it was great. Went through the whole audition process.
10 to 5 again?
Did lifts. I think it was shorter this time. It was like only a couple hours, 3-4 hours. But you know,
are they doing nothing Wicked related, right? It's all just other stuff.
No, it was all Wicked. It was choreography from the show.
Oh, I see. Oh, wow.
Their, lifts from the show. So they're teaching you the partnering and stuff. Right. They really want to see if you have the style and you can kind of fit the mold of the show. And so I I did that next day, and it was cool. Everything went well, and then at the end of the day, my agent calls and they're like, "So they loved you. They thought you were great. You're definitely right for the show. But they don't have any openings in the cast right now, so they're putting you on file." And I'm like, "Okay, fine. Like, great. Okay, I'm on file. Great. Maybe they'll use
or somebody get hurt
or back up. Yeah. So come to find out, like, not a lot. All the shows do keep a file of people from their auditions. Not all the shows use them. A lot of shows will just like hold an audition and cast somebody from that audition. They actually come to find out, utilize that file. So they'll go through and they'll be like, "Oh, remember this person? Let's give them a call. We have an opening," or they will re-audition you or whatever. So I'm on file. And then...
so approved, just no openings.
Yeah.
All right, but that's better than enough.
Yeah, so I'm on file. I don't know that. I'm whatever that means, you know. Okay. Like, they could use it, they could not. At that point, I was like, they'll probably never use it. So whatever. So move on. Auditioning for lots of other stuff. I end up getting a regional contract outside of Boston. So I did like a whole Jerry Herman season there. Hello, Dolly,
wow.
Mame, and Lacage.
Wow.
So I did those 3
ensemble
shows.
work there as well?
Yep, ensemble work. And did that whole summer. It was great. I met some amazing people. People I'm still friends with today. People who are working on Broadway now.
Wow.
So it was a great experience. Also paying, it's ridiculous. I think I made like $250 a week on that contract. Like, and they put us up in these like college dorms. And this time is a little bit better. Like I had my own like room and bathroom, but like we were in a dorm. We had to get our groceries. We had to we had like $250 salary and like $175 per diem or whatever. Like it was very, very small. So just kind of like doing it for the love of the art, you know, and like also having a great time, like meeting these people and partying as a young person, and like just having the fun theater summer experience. And so we had a good time. Moved back to the city and after that summer and got called in for Wicked. So they
call again.
They called and they're like, "Oh, they're holding an audition. They want to see you." I'm like...
But I thought I'm on file.
Yeah, I'm on file. So I guess they're using... It was a smaller pool.
Okay.
So they had pulled people from previous auditions and they did like an invited call. So it wasn't... The first one was like...
open call.
Open call. So anybody can attend. This one was kind of a private, like...
Yeah, these are 10 people we like.
Yeah.
Want to see what we can do.
So I'm like, okay, fine. Like, they just saw me 3 months ago, but sure. So I literally... was just like, they're just gonna put me on file again. Thinking like it was just another call. So I rolled out of bed, like in like sweatpants, a wife beater. I had like a plaid overshirt. Like I looked so scrubby, and my hair was a mess. I was just like, they know what I do, so I'm just gonna go on with my day.
Right.
I was so chill and relaxed, and like. That's what they wanted. They wanted this like, I don't give a shit attitude. Like they just were like, they wanted that energy. And before I was too hungry. I was too excited and like wanted the show so bad that my energy was reading as like, hire me, I can do this, and they didn't want that eagerness. Like they were like,
this guy's right. You had more miles under your belt. You just spent the summer doing stuff.
And they wanted that energy. It was all about how they viewed you in that time. And I came in, I did all the choreography great, and I was relaxed, and I was just like, did my thing. They asked me to sing a song, sang, and then I left the audition. It was very quick. It's like an hour and a half maybe. Left the audition, went to buy a new pair of tap shoes that I'd been wanting. So I went, bought those tap shoes, was walking down the stairs of Steps dance studio, and got the call from my agent. And they were like,
"You're in.
Congratulations, you booked it." Wow. And I was like, fell to the floor.
Oh,
like,
that's so
started
awesome.
Screaming.
It's your lifelong dream.
Lifelong dream. Like, I could not believe it, It was like, I couldn't believe it. I was just like floored and crying and, just like the whole thing, just like screaming. And it was the most amazing day. It was like,
wow.
My life was changing.
What year is this?
2009.
2009.
Yeah.
And so they said national tour. You start when? Report on Monday?
I think I started. I think it was like a week. Like I think they.
And where was your first show that you performed at?
Nashville.
So you go to Nashville.
Yeah. So I had been in my apartment with my friend that I moved into, and I was like there for a week. Did Wicked and was like, I'm leaving in next week or whatever. So like, you can.
So tell me what this is. I want you to set the scene for me. So you go to. Obviously, you've performed live before a million times at that point, but this is
not on this scale.
This is as good as big as it gets. The audience should know this. Like a Wicked tour is like a Les Mis or a Hamilton. This is the top tier. A-list, like, it doesn't get any better or more buttoned up than these shows, right? It's the top money, top price for tickets.
Yep.
The most demand for the, at that time, Wicked is still one of the best of all time. So you get to Nashville and you're about to go on, right? And they call Places, right? And so people who don't know theater stuff, Places is 5 minutes or 10?
Places is 5.
5, right?
Yeah.
So there's this thing called Places where they, they say in your ear, Places, or they announce it, and you have to be in your place where you have to be to start the show.
Yeah.
What is that 5 minutes like for you in Nashville? Are you nervous?
I was crazy nervous. The thing is, like, they don't do this anymore, but I was the first replacement on that tour.
Okay.
And I learned that entire show in my track that I did at that time in 2.5 days.
Wow.
So I had 2.5 days.
But no singing role.
I had to sing. I mean, no solos.
No solos.
But
I should say that, right?
I did have
ensemble singing.
Yeah, ensemble singing. And I played Chistery,
the monkey.
What you saw.
Yeah, that was great.
And so that was my first track in Wicked, and I had like 2.5 days to learn it, and then I was like in the show. So like,
and did you do a dress rehearsal?
I did I put in rehearsal. So I was the only one in costume. Everyone else was just in their like dance clothes, and they were doing everything around me, so I could feel their bodies and know the movement, the spacing, and everything. So I did that the afternoon of that show, and then that night I was in the show. So it was like I kind of remember just like it was a blur.
Wow.
I just kind of like was trying to remember what comes next, and where do I go, and what who do I grab, and I don't know these people.
Gosh.
Where's my partner? I need to do the choreography. So now
did it go okay?
It went great. I think a couple little mistakes,
but nobody noticed.
Yeah, nothing anyone would have known. I didn't fall. So yeah, and then it was just like smooth sailing from there.
Mm-hmm. So that, and what is that curtain call like at the end of that first night? Is it like exhilarating?
It's the most amazing feeling. I mean, as a performer, like there's nothing like that.
Curtain call anyhow is the best thing for a performer.
Yeah,
right? You're working the whole time for that.
Yeah, but especially for Wicked, like the audiences are like a rock concert. They just love it, and you've been an audience. All these big shows, like
you're there because you love it.
Yeah. And especially there's something special about Wicked that like is so relatable to so many people, even if you're not into theater or you're not into Broadway. Like I've had so many of my friends who've been like, I brought my husband to Wicked, and he was like, actually that was freaking cool. Like I loved it. People who aren't into theater can relate. They know the Wizard of Oz story, so they kind of connect the dots and the backstory of the Wizard of Oz integrated into Wicked, and so they love it. It's a spectacle. One of the reason it's running for like
forever
20+ years.
But how is it that like I asked this to folks that you perform the same thing every single night, sometimes 6 to 8 times a week, and I asked them, I'm like, don't you get like if I had my job and did the same thing every day, I'd be like, this is awful. But somehow they tell me, and tell me what your take is on this, that every night is different.
Every show is different.
That true?
Every show is different. I mean, every show. Like sometimes audiences will laugh at something that it is not even like perceived as funny as to the audience before.
Really?
But like there's moments that some audiences laugh.
And you guys look for that.
Yeah, it kind of just throws you off a little bit, but it keeps you on your game. Understudies, swings are on all the time, so it's like it's a different cast every night. Like it's very rare that it's the playing company, the leads and the ensemble as
so
cast.
You don't get bored.
No, I mean, it does become a job at some point. You're clocking in, you're on autopilot.
Right.
You kind of do your thing, but and there are obviously days that are harder to get through the show than others. I mean, it's a very a very physically demanding show.
Right.
You know, it's a lot of taxing choreography, especially the monkey stuff. And
you're up on a thing. And
yeah, I used to come down off of a rope, do all this climbing and stuff, and they've taken that out of the show for the tour now. But you're climbing the Oz head, you're climbing these towers, you're jumping off of things, you're doing all this stuff that like the human body is not supposed to be doing
all the time.
You know,
right,
all the time. 8 shows a week, like
a lot.
1 day off a week,
and some days 2 times a day.
Yeah.
Matinee
and evening shows.
Wow.
Saturday and Sunday, and then like the first week in the city you have 3 double show days. So the Thursday.
Oh yeah, Thursday.
2 shows.
Let's jump ahead so we don't run out of time. So at some point you marry and you adopt a child.
Yeah, so I kind of, didn't hang up my wicked hat, but I moved to New York, and I stayed connected to the show. They'd use me every now and again, but I marry and decide to get married, get engaged, and we moved to Connecticut. So I'm like, okay, I'm actually leaving.
Right, because your ex was from Connecticut.
Yeah,
right.
So I'm leaving my theater life, friends, culture, everything in New York.
Moving to the suburbs.
Moving to the suburbs to start a family. So
and you adopt a beautiful little girl.
Yeah, the most amazing little girl.
Oh my God. And so that's that relationship didn't work out. You're in a new relationship, and you share custody of the child and back away. And so what's that? I'm a dad too.
Yeah.
What do you love about being a dad?
It is the most amazing feeling. Like you fall in love with a person, and you think that that's like the top tier of love that you're ever going to feel. And then you to compare it to the love of a child who like loves you unconditionally. Like I could cry. Like
I could cry too. Yeah,
it's just like there's this magical feeling that is unlike anything else. It is just this unconditional experience, and like the way that they look at you and love you and trust you is so incredible.
It's incredible.
It's like I can't put words to it. Like it's just this deep, amazing love that it's so hard to explain.
No, right.
It's a passionate connection that is just like so.
And it's pure.
So pure.
It's pure, right? Because the kid looks to you, and you're everything.
Yeah.
And
they're not tainted by the world.
They're not tainted by the world. They don't have the same pressures. They don't have to pay bills, and they just want to have the best relationship with you. And you realize you hold so much power because you can either make their life amazing, or you can burden them for life with, all kinds of mental health problems.
And you're trying to break the things that
all the generational cycles, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so now you're in a new relationship, and does he help with, with your child?
He's absolutely incredible.
And she loves him too.
She loves him to death. He's kind of like her play toy.
Oh yeah.
Like he
does the stuff when you're beat.
When I'm exhausted, he's like got crazy energy at all points in time. So like he's the one who wants to throw her around and like do all this stuff when I can't, or
you're just tired because parenting is hard.
Yeah. So we swap off on that, but he's the go-to energy guy. Like he will always be down to play, roll around on the floor. And she loves.
Do you know if your ex has a new person?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And does your daughter love him as well?
I think so. I mean, she doesn't really. She's very it's interesting. She's very tight-lipped about her experiences in the other houses. Like she does talk about it,
but she just keeps it this.
She got it's. I think because we split when she was 6 months old,
right?
So she's only ever known these 2 separate homes. So fortunately, the silver lining of the situation is that she's never known anything else. She's just always known that she has 2 homes. She has 2 dads in separate homes.
She has 4 dads, really.
Yeah, essentially, 2 stepdads, and she just compartmentalizes that. So she does occasionally, talk about the things that she did. But we've talked about this. We're like, do you ask her things? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, how was your weekend with your daddy? What did you do? I don't know. Okay. Well, you just went to Disney World with your dad. Like, how was that? Tell me, what was your favorite part of Disney World? I don't know.
All right. So she's still
pirate ride. Like she just kind of like, I don't know if it's a idea that she has that she doesn't know how
right.
to communicate
and
that.
How old is she now?
4.
Okay.
Or if she's like,
or she wants, or maybe she senses some tension.
But there is none. Like now it's
good.
It's really good.
Oh,
like
good.
We've gotten to a really good place of like, at least with co-parenting, and
that's so great.
Yeah, so
I'm curious to follow her in her life. Getting, again, I'm a big proponent of dads. I didn't have a dad, but also like dad energy is so important, and I want to see, and obviously, and keep in touch, and how a girl that's getting 4 dad energies, like what becomes of her, like what is her like worldview going to be like? And that's awesome because dads can do this stuff too, and are very successful at it. And we were marginalized for a long time on TV. Even it was always the picture of the fat, like stupid dad, like in sitcoms and stuff. And that's really not the case. Like I'm sure there are exceptions, and there's mothers like that too, I presume. But we can do. I mean, look, your daughter, was adopted, right? And then she didn't have a mom that was nurturing her. You guys did all the nurturing,
exactly,
all those things, even in the the bottle feeding and all that in that tender years,
right?
So I'm curious to see where she lands, but I'm sure she's going to be great. I mean, you guys, love is love, and you'll be able to bring all that. And have you exposed her to the theater yet?
A little bit. Like we took her to Disney World and took her to the Finding Nemo show, and like so she's seen some stuff, but I think she was like 3.5 at that point. So I think she's still a little young to like not appreciate, but like sit through the big experiences. But like we're gonna take her to see the Little Mermaid Junior. You know? So like little things like that where she can kind of get more into it,
right?
But my dream is for her to see me in Wicked, for her to be old enough.
Would you reprise your role? Do you think they'd have you in for like a show?
Yeah, every now and again they'll call and say, hey, can you fill in?
We fill in for a couple of days. Have you done any of that?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Recently?
I think like maybe 2 months ago.
Oh, you did
in San Diego for a week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
All right, so you just popped in and did that, and so, oh my God, that would be so cool if she could see. But you couldn't get her out there for that?
I mean, I think maybe if the show was closer,
right?
It's just like they've been on the West Coast, but I think they're coming closer east. So
right,
they were in Hartford.
I saw it. Yeah,
and I was like begging them, be like, please put me in the show. Like,
I'll do it one night.
Yeah, I want my daughter to see me in the show, and you're here, and they're like, we'll do our best, and it never worked out. Yeah,
my kids loved it when we saw you in Boston because we had dinner with you beforehand, and then saw you afterwards, and my son's at theater, so he loves it, but. Well, let me just ask you finally the connection, right? When you're an ensemble member and you're trying to connect, what do you think is the how does that happen? How do you create that connection with an audience member or the audience at large?
It's just sort of this innate magical amoeba. Like it just sort of is this like magical energy, and sometimes it's not there. Like sometimes the audience is just quiet and they're reserved, and they're soaking it all and they're taking it all in, and no matter how much you're giving and
it just doesn't resonate.
It just they don't feel it as much. They'll clap, and it's always a big applause at the end,
right.
But like it's cool when it's like everything kind of clicks.
And do you guys talk about that intermission? You're like, this is a hot audience.
Oh yeah,
that's a big deal. You're like, these guys are fucking great. You feel the energy.
It's usually the weekend audience. Like, it usually kind of like revs up for the weekend. It's usually like,
but I mean, you've gotten them before, and you're just like, wow, this is great energy.
Yeah,
they're hot.
Yeah, no, and it's fun, and it feeds you as a performer, as an artist, like makes you want to deliver more. It's exhausting to do 8 shows a week, and it's really hard to like pull it out and give the same level of performance every single show.
But people should know that if you love it, let the actors know.
Yes.
And could you also agree? I go crazy. I almost approached somebody the other day, but my son wouldn't let me. He was too embarrassed. If you leave before that curtain call ends, you should die.
It is kind of.
You should die.
It's the rudest thing.
It's awful.
I roll my eyes every single time.
No, but like these people, I see they as soon as they're starting it, they're out.
Yeah,
I'm like,
they got to get to their car. They got to get to the.
No. You have to thank it's like not leaving a tip.
Right.
Fuck you.
It's like not paying your bill.
I said I was going to stop my son. So don't embarrass me. I'm like, who's going to teach these people?
Yeah.
You can't say for 5 more minutes of the inconvenience to thank these people that have given their 3 hours of their soul to you, and you can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It is kind of that is the hardest thing to kind of experience, to be like, just show your appreciation. Like, even if it's just for, it's the curtain calls over in a minute,
2 minutes.
you know, like, it's just like, and then everyone's going to leave, and it's just like, it's going to be a little bit of traffic, and you'll get out.
Yeah, no, right. So you're awesome. I thank you for doing this. I know it's, you're busy, you're a dad, I am too, but I wanted to learn about your story, and I love our friendship. I love, you've been very kind to me and my son, and getting him to see things, and obviously introduced me to people. I was able to drive your friend back to, she was staying in an awful place in Hartford. Yeah, and I love talking theater with you, and so thank you very much, and I wish you continued success, and I hope you get to go into Wicked as well, because I'll come see you as well.
That'd be fun.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.